Hey RATBAGGERS, it's Jade today going over everything you need to know about how yesterday's update has gone. Has it actually fixed and improved things for you? Let me know in the comments. We're going to dive into that a little bit. Also, RolyPolys are back. This was something that's been up and down a little bit because in one of the preview actual trailers, we did see it, or cutscenes, but then it seemed it got removed or changed for a little while, but they're actually back now when you watch the cutscene or intro cutscene. Not huge news because we've already been told that a majority of bugs are going to be returning from Grounded 1 to Grounded 2. But hey, it's a little bit of confirmation, right? One thing the devs are definitely on though is removing the outer bounds areas that we discovered. Things like the playground and a lot more. Looks like the devs are onto it and have pretty much just wiped out a lot of the points of interest and stuff. All that plus some of the controversy that I'm gonna own up and address about some of the leaks you may have seen on pretty much TikTok and maybe Reddit, because maybe I'm the one that caused them. Alright, so Grounded 2, I've seen a lot of comments from you guys on yesterday's video and a few others I've done, and yeah, for sure, some of you are still not happy. You think actually the update yesterday has made things worse with stuttering and more crashing. Gotta say, I did notice a bit of stuttering myself and some weird things going on with the flying bugs, like literally they're just the most glitchy thing going. That kind of stuff is funny, I don't mind so much, it's not a big deal. And as much as I don't like stuttering every time I'm riding my buggy, I can just about live with it. But it is them crashes, and I implore people, if you have a crash, make sure you report it. Try and report exactly what was happening when that crash happened. Yesterday's update did fix a bunch of them, all to do with accessing inventory, or maybe losing your gear from your buggies. So we know the devs are on it for sure, but coming up to a month now, I kind of think Grounded 2 should be a bit more stable. People are going to go, oh, it's early access. Listen, I've covered early access games for 10 years. Pretty much every survival game that's been in early access, I've covered in one way, shape or form. I know all about what we should expect and shouldn't. Just because something's early access, it doesn't mean that we have to accept crashing. Nowhere when you go and look on the Xbox store page or the Steam page will it say that crashing is going to happen. What it might say is that there may be issues or bugs. The bare minimum, and I will keep saying it, is if you buy something, you should be able to play it. It can be buggy, it can be broken, but the bare minimum, even early access, should be that you can play your game. On the flip side of that, there definitely could be smaller cases and you guys are just unhappy and making it known more by commenting on videos. Because right now, I'm pleased to say, the actual review scores for Grounded 2 are going up massively. At one point, this was obviously mixed when it first launched. It did have them big issues, but it's quickly crept up. It was on 79% only last week and now it's up to 84% very positive. So while I'm going to criticise things like crashing, you've got to recognise hopefully the devs are on a good course with this, at least on Steam. It could be Xbox that's got the majority of the issues, although there have been obviously big problems on Steam in the past as well. Basically, things are on the up. It might not seem like it if you're still crashing, but fingers crossed they're going to implement PTBs, which are like public test branches. You can access them on Xbox, on the Xbox Insider program, and that gives us a chance to test things out and hopefully stop or give some feedback about any problems before it goes live to everyone. There's been no official confirmation they're coming back. They were used every single update in Grounded 1, except I do believe for the 1.0 release. It's just a great way to test things. So yeah, fingers crossed that's going to be coming back, and hopefully it'd be nice to hear some news about that. And it does look like duping has been fixed, mostly. I actually still managed to do it this morning, but it definitely seems a bit more temperamental. Like you can do it once and then it kind of just doesn't allow you to do it again unless you like load up a save. I get why some people are anti-duping. Oh, well, you've got to work and put your work into it. But listen, let people play their game how they want to play. Kind of baffles me that anyone's got really a negative opinion about it, given it's not a competitive game. You're not playing against other players. Grounded literally had a duping mechanism for this reason for players to actually experience, and it was a pretty cool implementation of it. And yes, we know game devs are always going to probably remove exploits. That's right, that's okay. But to use a phrase that I thought wasn't that much of a big deal, but some of you are clutching at pearls. And biggest reason of all why I think duping has been okay in Grounded is sheer amount of people that have been telling me they've lost special gear, weapons, hours of saves because the game's crashed. Some people just don't have time to grind all day. They can't wait for custom settings, which would obviously be the biggest thing to maybe stop people wanting to dupe. And another kind of example that Grounded 2 was a bit early to not even have the custom settings in, which is pretty standard now. So I'm never going to give dupers a hard time. I don't necessarily do it myself, only to show you guys what to do and to maybe take care of some of my lost gear. If the devs are saying stuff is actually stable now, then yeah, I'm never really going to dupe loads of resources. I do think that can take away a bit of the fun of the game for sure. But yeah, some of you guys just need to chill. Although do bear in mind, when you do dupe, you are risking actually making more problems for yourself that may be causing some more crashes. And shout out to String, blink and you miss it, but on the left hand side of the screen you might notice a RolyPolys. Like, it's really tiny, a bunch of screenshots have been going around, so if you don't see it here, trust me, it exists. There also might be a scarab beetle, like a new version of it. Looks like it's going to have some new designs. So yeah, pretty interesting stuff. But what happened was, it looks like some of this stuff got replaced with black ants in a short while, and then they changed the intro trailer again. So yeah, I'm not too sure why or what. Like, we know a lot of the bugs are going to be returning from Grounded 1. So what's the big deal in showing off RolyPolys, since we've seen other things from other trailers that haven't been in the game yet? Like, where are all the fireflies? But it's still nice to hear, right? That one of your favourite creatures is definitely coming back. Also shout out to Rift Edge and the other data miners that are doing some good work showing the changes. This had originally very basic blocked out playground that I showed you guys, and everyone else has probably walked around it now. But it has now been nuked. Now don't worry, it doesn't mean we're not going to get a playground. It just means obviously it was blocking. They were just seeing what it looked like for scale, shape, seeing what it'd be for performance. And obviously maybe they don't want us sneaking around and seeing what else is going to happen in following updates. So they have just leveled everything off. They've got removed a lot of stuff. These are pretty much the last remains of some of these places. And they have also gone and removed black ants. The woodpile's still there, so I think that is going to be something we'll be able to explore soon. But it doesn't look like we'll maybe experiencing black ants. Now, this is probably in line with what I said. I showed you guys that just next to or in between the woodpile that got added just slightly out of bounds, as well as the garden next to Burgle's statue. There was a bunch of stuff there, lots of ant hills, and it looks like there's going to be some sort of war between red ants and black ants. But apparently a lot of that has now been removed. So there's not much reason to go out of bounds. If you've still been trying to, honestly, it might not be worth it. Okay, and moving on to maybe real spoilers here and talking about leaks in general and what I'm going to try and do going forward, but also all the leaks you may have started seeing on TikTok. So if you're not interested in that stuff, see you later next time. This is a woolly aphid. It is part of the game files in Grounded 2, as we discovered in one of the early builds that went live literally when it went on sale. So we haven't really hacked anything. We haven't gone and dove into something encrypted. This was literally for everyone to see within the first couple of hours of Grounded being live. But I did then update it with the new version and they removed a bunch of this stuff. And this is what a lot of data miners have been doing and I've been encouraging to do in my Discord since Grounded 2, and they're right, decided they didn't want to have any more data mine stuff in the Discord. They'd previously allowed this kind of stuff to be spoken about in a particular channel. It's where I hanged out a lot and spoke about stuff upcoming. But with Grounded 2, they want to keep it a little bit more spoiler free. And fun fact, stuff like this is in the public domain. Like, if the game is there, it's out in the world, then it is kind of open as free reign for you to go and dive into the files. Developers can put encryptions on it, and that's a different story. When they start doing that, then you may be in trouble if you're trying to break in stuff. But I've always enjoyed leaks. I've shown you guys it's good for me. It gives me content. It gives you hype knowing stuff's coming, or just something to watch while you're waiting for official updates. Not to dismiss negatives, it can be spoilerific, and I'm going to work on that with my thumbnails. It's still a work in motion, how to do best to get people to click on it if they want to watch that, but also not spoil things for people that really don't. I do understand, I do, but it's a balance. Also love the fact that data miners are working on stuff like mods. They are creating all sorts of stuff like increasing light for certain tools and weapons. Big shout out to Jace for his work on this. And maybe this gets improved in early access, or maybe it shows the devs it'd be cool to have it. Without data mining, we wouldn't have Apex's a good community member and one of the wiki people creating a great mod that rebalanced Grounded 1 and is really good for Grounded 2. These are the plus points of data mining. The negatives are when people go and show some of this content and don't give any kind of context and just go, look, here you go, 2 minutes of leaked info and images, no context to whether or not it's early, work in progress. And that's basically what happened. People went and ripped off all the pictures and stuff that we'd collated for ease of use for me and others that are interested in that stuff. No credit given, but that wasn't the biggest deal. It is about that context and explaining that some stuff is cut content for a reason. Some stuff's early work and it's going to get changed. Or some stuff won't be planned for most recent, but it'll actually be far, far away. And it's kind of exploded on TikTok in the last day and a half, with multiple people now just ripping off the same video that was all taken from the data miners footage that they found. So if you see any kind of leaked content like that, showing off armors and new bugs and stuff, that all came from my Discord and from the data miners that put hard work into unlocking some secrets for sure. But yeah, just bear that in mind. Don't start hassling the devs or in the official Discord, is this coming, when's this happening? Because literally, we don't know. Honestly, some of the stuff may have been cut. I have shown the woody aphid because why do we need a woody aphid now, since we've already gone and explored the ice cart? Is it something they're going to add? Maybe. It's an interesting idea, but it does look like the devs actually decided to cut this for whatever reason, because it just wasn't really suiting their vision just yet. You never know, it could be added in the future as part of maybe some more polish or adding more creatures, and we know more variants are incoming. But any of these dickheads on TikTok or any other kind of social media saying that it's definitely coming, you need to go, no, hold up, we don't know that yet. I've also been a dickhead and made that mistake in the past about the lizard in Grounded 1 and stuff, but I've learned to really try and just be a bit more responsible and showing and saying some of this stuff won't happen. One of the Grounded moderators also raised a good point, saying that effectively they're going by the rules in terms of Reddit, that if something's interesting and people want to discuss it, as long as they've got spoilers and stuff, then it can be okay in some instances. What's not okay is people just using it to get internet points and basically troll, or start seeing maybe people confused about leaks, about promised upcut content and stuff that's just made up. And that's kind of where I'm at it. It is public info that you can access via your copy of your game. I do obviously make money from showing off leak videos, but they still only amount to about 5% of my views and video output overall, especially for Grounded 1. I've done a bit more with Grounded 2 for sure, because there was more to show off and there's a hell of a lot of stuff incoming. Grounded 2 really is cooking. I can't wait for some of these updates. I never really want to piss off the devs because they've been so good. They invited me to LA and all the rest of it. But equally, I've also done some good and I've presented loads of content for players over the years. So they know that I do these kind of leaks videos, and if they really don't want me showing it off, then we can have that conversation. But if I don't do it, someone else is going to do it, and they're not maybe going to give that kind of context that is important about expectations, about when stuff might launch or not launch. And that's at least something I do try and do. I am going to show some of the stuff that you might have seen on TikTok already, but I'm going to do it when I think it's the right time, nearer certain updates. I may show stuff off that's cut content from Grounded 1 because I think it's just fun to take a look at what it looks like in Grounded 2, even though it's not going to happen, but I'd make that obvious. I can get a bit clickbait and spoilery with certain things like mods. As said, I'm working on that as well. But as we get closer to big updates and we can see the stuff listed on the roadmap, I may start showing some stuff off then as well. But I promise I am trying to make sure that the thumbnails and the titles are a little less spoilery. If you don't like any of this stuff, you don't have to actually click and watch. But I do still think they've got some uses for the community that want them, and the majority of the audience, I hate to break it to you, Unk, I enjoy the game as an old fart, I'm sure you do. But the majority of people that play and watch Grounded content are literally 10 to 18 years old. A lot of them players, a lot of them viewers can't get enough of this kind of stuff. Hence why these videos do get lots of views. It's always been the way for every game under the sun. Even grown up or more mature teenagers for GTA leaks and stuff. So for my part, I'm trying to be a bit more responsible, not leak everything in one go, and try and balance it against content that will be cut, content on the roadmap, and stuff that's already been leaked by the devs. It's a weird little code, but you know, I'm trying to juggle what I need, what you guys want, and whether or not it's really relevant or interesting. But yeah, I don't think it's cool for people to come into the Discord and just rip stuff off. So we've tightened things up. You need to chat a little bit more, be involved in the community. And hopefully, if people do show stuff off in the future, they actually credit the data miners, most importantly, but also give that proper context about stuff. And there we go. I've addressed it. This video was a bit longer, but I've tried shortening it. If you want more details to talk about with me, come join my Discord. Or start frantically, angrily typing. I'm just trying to be honest with you guys. But yeah, you can put a comment, obviously, under the video too. And that's it. I reckon we won't get an update now for a good couple of weeks, but don't worry, there's still hype. On the 1st September, we are expecting some big news, maybe as the devs are going to be at PAX West, talking about early access, how they've developed things, listening to community and more. So I am expecting a release date for the next update, but it won't be anytime soon. I think it's going to be at least a month away. Until then, laters.